that Smith had, the fact is it doesn't support his translation. And I think for the most part Mormon scholars have moved away from trying to make that case.
Is this an add-on?
Yeah.
So what does that say about what Joseph Smith did to Isaiah?
Well, it sounds like it came from an ordinary man rather than God.
And so
it is not a new translation. It is a rewriting of the Bible. He's rewriting the Bible.
a key verse that Joseph Smith rewrote is John 1:1, that refers to Jesus as the Word. In the Bible, John 1:1 reads, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." But Smith's version reads, "In the beginning was the gospel preached through the Son, and the gospel was the Word, and the Word was with the Son, and the Son was with God, and the Son was of God." By changing "was God" to "was of God," Smith stripped Jesus of his deity.
The Word was with the Son, and the Son was with God, and the Son was of God. Not a single scholar could tell you that this is an accurate translation of the Gospel of John. The most ancient copy of the Gospel of John that we have goes back to the year 150, more or less. That is a papyrus, which is called Papyrus 66. We are very sure about the text that we have.
This earliest copy we have of John 1:1 is only about 50 years older than when John originally wrote that Jesus was God. As one who personally knew Jesus, John is a more trustworthy witness of who he was, rather than Joseph Smith, who rewrote John's testimony roughly 1,700 years later. And isn't it true that if people take this left side and what Joseph Smith is saying, and if they're persuaded by it to follow that, wouldn't truth be corrupted, and wouldn't they be led astray?
They will be reading Joseph Smith, not the Gospel.
When you read John 1:1 in the Joseph Smith version and John 1:1 in the Bible, are those two different Jesuses?
Oh yes, completely. We are talking about something completely different in each case.
You can believe in the Joseph Smith Jesus of John 1:1, or you can believe in the John 1:1 of the New Testament, but you can't believe in both, can you?
No, you can't.
Joseph Smith also changed Romans 4:16. Here the Apostle Paul declares how men are saved when he writes, "Therefore it is of faith, that it might be by grace." But Smith's version reads, "Therefore ye are justified of faith and works through grace." Joseph Smith added "and works" to Paul's gospel, of which he warned, "Even if we or an angel from heaven should preach a gospel other than the one we preach to you, let him be eternally condemned."
You are justified of faith and works.
So he added "and works."
Yeah.
So that
the word works is not there.
He added "and works."
He did.
And would you say that that gospel that includes the works is the gospel message that represents Mormonism?
Yes.
Another revelation given through Joseph Smith the prophet was that these works even enable men to become gods.
It's my belief that God was like me at one point in time.
Do you believe men can become gods?
That's what I've been taught.
The Apostle Paul preached that by grace, God became a man to save men from their sins. In contrast, Joseph Smith preached that by their works, men can become gods. Interestingly enough, Paul says that anyone who changes the gospel that he preaches is to be eternally condemned. It's Mormonism that's saying corrupting the Bible is a serious, serious problem, right?
Correct.
But doesn't the evidence show that Joseph Smith is the one that corrupted the Bible? If we're being criticized because we took the plain and precious portions out of the Bible, and therefore Satan's got power over us, as the Book of Mormon says, and that we're being led to hell. If the evidence shows that actually the reverse of that is true, and Joseph Smith is the one that changed the Bible, then wouldn't it be his followers and the church that he's associated with that are in serious eternal trouble?
Boy, that's scary.
The evidence clearly shows that it is Joseph Smith who corrupted the Bible. In addition to this, Joseph Smith made his own predictions about the future, so he too can be tested. Recorded in Mormon scripture is a revelation given through Joseph Smith the prophet that was given in 1832, that a temple shall be built in Missouri. Joseph Smith predicted that the temple shall be reared in this generation, for verily this generation